In this video, I'm going to go over what alien abductions really are, who's doing them and why. Also, how by integrating this knowledge, it will expand your thinking, allowing you to see more complex agendas, all from a fifth density expanded consciousness perspective, for entertainment purposes only, of course. But first, I wanted to mention that the only things separating the lower densities from the higher ones are perception agreements. Our perception agreements in third density are dictated to us by our authorities in exchange for what is basically fictional protection. It is easier to manifest in the higher densities because a person is more energy in a perceptible state by said consciousness as a fluid. Lower densities manifest slower because in the material world, consciousness is more solid, less energy, and requires constant sustained focus. So if you want your consciousness to be more energetic and fluid, you have to expand your knowledge beyond the material world. My Cosmos 101 video series is the base for that expansion. Cosmos101.net is my website when you're ready. Okay, now, who's doing the abductions? Well, there are two main groups. The first are called the Tall Greys, or Big Nose Greys. The official designation is the Authortans. They don't actually have a nose, by the way. Their face is just configured that makes them look like they have a big nose. They are a group from the Orion system. They carry out the deal that one of our leaders struck back in the 50s for a few head of cattle of the herd for technology that didn't actually work because they weren't actually stupid enough to give us that. Anyway, when they abduct someone, that person doesn't come back. But it's not worth worrying about because it's one of those rare things like getting struck by lightning. So that's not really what I wanted to focus on. Maybe a video about them for another day. Now, the second group of beings that do the abductions, we do know a lot about, in spite of all the misinformation. They are known as the Short Greys. Their official designation is the Zeta Reticuli. There are actually thousands of different types of the Zeta Greys, so I'm just going to talk about all of the general commonalities. They are biological beings, which means they are walking, talking plants. Because they are essentially plants, they don't possess any empathy or experience any emotions. They are known as the gardeners of the universe. Now, why are they abducting people and bringing them back? The answer is a lot different than all the misinformation nonsense that we typically hear. Sometimes a body's frequency gets out of alignment with our soul's frequency, and that body has to be adjusted so the soul can continue to have a physical experience here in third density. And that's where the Zeta Greys come in. Sometimes they fix physical issues, insert chips to improve connection, or have been known to prepare a woman's body to be able to even carry a high frequency child, among many other issues. Okay, why are they doing this? Well, believe it or not, a person's star family contracts them as needed. The thousands of different star races that have starseeds here do their best to protect their family with as little interference as possible. So they contract the Zeta Greys. The Short Greys put a person in a state similar to hypnosis of there being no memory of the abduction procedure. The reason they don't want a person to remember is because, as I said earlier, the Greys don't have any feelings or empathy, so they don't have a clue how to make the experience not traumatic. The Greys can't comprehend what trauma even is to a human. The hypnosis type-induced sleep is not a perfect process, so when the details are remembered by an abductee, they can be quite a traumatic memory for that person. As an interesting side note, the Short Greys are the only ETs that can come and go in and out of Earth's orbit with no restrictions. Okay, I also wanted to briefly point out how knowing this expands your perception. The Greys are also the gardeners for all life forms on the planet. So they also care for, among others, the animals, the trees, the fish, So by integrating this knowledge allows a person to understand other expanded agendas. The Save the Planet campaign, for example. In an effort to prevent global warming, we have voluntarily agreed to all kinds of restrictions on our freedoms. Now that you know the Zeta Grays are already caring for the planet, and so do our authorities, you can understand that global warming was just a very clever way to implement a perception agreement that includes restrictions on our freedoms. We agreed to certain restrictions in exchange for the illusion of protection from global warming. Oh, and as a bonus fact, perception agreements like this are how densities of consciousness are formed. All of this information together has been in front of us the whole time. We just didn't have the awareness to perceive it. Also, as your awareness expands, you start to see more and more how everything is connected. Thanks for supporting this channel. Peace.